Hey, welcome to Turkish Joy, where we happily overanalyze Turkish dizzies and just have way too much fun while doing it. And we cannot push pause for the next episode. You gotta watch just the beginning of that next episode. It is so addicting. So, we have so much to discuss. Let's just talk dizzy. Lynn, let me know what the dizzy debrief is for this week.
All right. Well, this week we watched two episodes. We watched episode 1 and episode 2 of our favorite Disney. Please help
Yes.
me with the name.
Yes, Güller ve Günahlar, and that means roses and sins, but because Turkish is the opposite of English, it's actually sins and roses.
Mhm. And we met Sarat and his wife Barak. And I mean, are we just going to tell everybody what happened? Because,
I
okay,
think
so
so.
check this out. All right, so check this out. First episode, Barak is she has a secret. Barak has a secret, and her secret is that 6 years ago she was pregnant and birthed a child, to which her aunt or someone that she hired to raise the
She
child
hired
is
them.
there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, and the child, oh my God, she's the cutest little girl named Kadash.
Kadarsh. Mm-hmm.
Kadarsh.
Kadarsh
Yes,
means
Kadarsh. And
destiny. Yeah.
oh, so adorable. Well, she sells flowers. Anyway, so let me go back to Barak, because Barak is on the phone because her secret is being found out, and in unison, everything's sort of crumbling around her. And then she's gets on the phone and she's like, if I'm going down, so are you. And then all of a sudden, Barak is found face down in a pool. In their beautiful pool, by the way, at their beautiful house.
Yes.
She lives, but she's in a coma. And so now Sarat, her husband, and they're like super well off, they're like the Asians in the Singapore movie, the young, the crazy rich
Yeah.
Asians. They're
Yeah.
basically that
Yeah.
Turkey. So
Yeah.
she's in a coma and he's keeping the secret. He's not telling anyone except for he tells his brother. Um,
Jihan.
and his brother is, yes, and his brother is like, I'll help you keep the secret. And so then he goes and meets this child and almost hits the florist. And
Yep.
okay, so where Kadarsh is growing up, she is a street vendor. She has to go out all day. And I think, what is she, 6 years old now? She has
She's
to go
6 years
out
old.
all
Yep.
day and
Mm-hmm.
work and make money, and she has to bring the
Mm-hmm.
money back to the people that her own mother hired to take care of her.
That's right.
And so she meets a florist, and the florist and the veggies and the like she meets one of the most awesome characters in the entire series. And I'm
Zaynep.
gonna mess, yes, Zaynep. And
I love
oh
Zaynep.
oh, she's literally the character that's sitting around going, you people know you're crazy, right? Like, you know that you're just way out there. This isn't reality. Let me show you reality. And
Yeah.
she is
She's all about
great.
being honest. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And oh my God, I totally forgot to hit the timer. Um,
Got to go
I
through
forgot to put
episode
it
2
on.
also. Next time.
Next time.
Gut
Okay.
check them on. Next time.
My ADHD brain was immediately like, we get to talk about dizzies. Come on, we don't
Yes.
need no
Yes.
timer. All right, so Zaynep sees Kadarsh selling flowers, and she's like, what are you doing, child? Are you hungry? And so I'm gonna fast track this one real quick, but she sees that the family taking care of her is just POSs, and is like, you know what's a good idea? Let's kidnap that child.
That's right. Well,
You
yes.
know, it's
Yeah.
Tuesday. I don't have anything to do. Let's kidnap the child. And so she ends up taking the child because she thinks that Sarat is the father because that's
Mm-hmm.
Barak's husband.
Right.
And she doesn't know who the dad is, and nobody knows who the dad is. You don't
Nobody
know as a
does.
viewer
Mm-mm.
who the dad is. And so Zainab takes the child, takes Kadarsh to him and is like, here you go, here's your kid. And he ends up bringing the child or coming back. And this is the end of the episode. He's basically comes back and he's like, you know what? If you want me to take this child, you need to come to my house, move into my house, keep this a secret from my two other daughters, that this is their mother's
Daughter. Mm-hmm.
daughter.
Child. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, secret child at that. And
Yes.
that
Yes.
child, that 6-year-old child needs to keep the secret as well. But she knows that who her mother is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Zaynep's own sister is just got, she's one of those women that has a bag
Abru.
picker and she like, yeah, Abru. She's over there like, I mean, I gave him all this money because he needed it. He opened up loans in my name, but he told me he loved me. Like she's an idiot. And so
I
Zaynep,
love
okay.
Abru though. She's a hoot. Oh my word. But yeah,
Oh, by the
she
second
doesn't always have
episode,
common sense. Mm.
she
Yeah.
doesn't have respect.
Yeah. She's lacking, but she has a really good heart. So I like Abru, even though she drives me nuts.
I don't see a good heart on her.
Oh,
You must
wait,
see
wait, wait.
something I did. Okay. You've seen further than I am because I'm
Yeah,
over
yeah.
here like, you need to drop your sister because that's just a liability right there. So,
Well,
but Zaynab
that is
goes,
truth there. Yeah.
yeah. So Zaynab goes and she's like, okay, well, my stupid sister owes money. Let me just tell him that I need money and let him think that this is all about money. When really what it is I'm cleaning up my own stupid sister's mistake.
That's right.
And so she's like, give me, I will do it for 800,000 lira. And I asked Miss Dee here, how much is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. It is. So, okay. So I think that I converted 80,000, which is 1,800. Okay. So take that by
Oh,
100.
18,000.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that makes so much
$18,000.
sense. So,
Yes.
so
That's a lot
Ibru's
of money.
boyfriend, that's a lot of money. And so
Yeah.
basically she's like, yeah, I'll do it for $18,000, but you need to
Yeah.
give me that money right now. So then Ibru
Yeah.
gets fixed up and her mistake is now band-aid over for the time being until she makes
Right.
another one. Um, and so Zaynab goes
We will
and she
see.
moves into this house. And these are horrible people that live here. Like
They're a little
none of
messed up.
them, like none of, like, so she comes in basically as an angel bringing in goodwill and joy. Like, why aren't you guys happy? You have everything that you want.
Mhm.
How are you so angry at life? What are you expecting more of?
Very obvious that money does not necessarily bring happiness. I think that
No.
this dizzy really illustrates that because Zainab's family, they are so much happier and they have almost nothing. I mean, they live a very typical life and they go out every day and sell things like flowers and that kind of thing to make income. And I love her dad, Arif. He is just a sweetheart. And he's so proud of taking care of his family, even though it's a huge struggle.
Yes.
And so, Zaynab, and she's also, oh my word, she's so proud, though. That's the only
So
thing.
pretty. I thought you were about to say pretty because
Well, she's gorgeous. Yeah, she's gorgeous, but
honey,
she's so
she looks
proud. And
like a
she gets
Disney
that from her dad.
princess.
She does. I know. Just like perfect features. I'm just like,
Yeah.
seriously? But anyway, yeah. But she, even when people should pay her for things, now she did get that money, but the only reason she did was because Abru owed it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have asked for a penny because she is way too proud. And she gets that from her father, and her father is the same way. So she is her father's daughter for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the other people in her family are not necessarily that way. They will take money from people. So she moves in to Serhat's house, but she has no income because she can't go sell flowers if she's living there. And so he ends up allowing her to be the nanny. So she has, at least she's earning her board and board, I guess, and keep a little bit. But yeah, so she really doesn't have much income, but she will not take anything from him unless she can prove how she earns it. So I'm like, sometimes honor and pride are good, but you also have to have common sense. So that's another
Right.
good lesson out of this dizzy.
Yes, yeah. It's okay to be a little stubborn, but not to the
That's right.
point where it's a detriment to your health or your livelihood.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what about the second episode? So anyway, I would just say at the end of every Turkish dizzy, they always leave you hanging on a cliff. So we got to put this part
So
in.
I
Lynn, we
forgot to
got to
put
put
in
this
the
part in.
cliffhanger.
Yes, because here's the deal. He has no idea who this father is of Kadar. So whoever Barak has been messing around with, he doesn't know. So he's suspicious of almost every man that is in her life. And so I thought this scene was quite interesting. She has a tattoo on her hand here, and she's still laying in the hospital this whole episode. She has a tattoo of what, two swallows, I think, together, two birds anyway.
Right.
And so he has two daughters that are their daughters together. One of them is playing the piano. Her piano teacher, a man, is standing next to her in front of everybody. And Serhat is this very wealthy businessman who is always on the front page of the newspaper. A scandal is the last thing he wants. He just opened this brand new hotel. That's where a lot of his money is coming from. He does not need scandal. But he happens to see that piano teacher's arm when he's stretching it out with the sheet music, and it has birds on it. You get right here, the same exact same tattoo as his wife's. And immediately his brain kicks. And one thing, well,
And so did his legs.
that's right. That's right. So if you want later on when we're to that segment, I can tell you a little bit about Turkish honor and why that like lit a fire in him. I mean, would anybody, but
Oh, yeah.
being disrespected with your honor is just such a huge deal. So the next thing you know, so faster than anybody can think, he's up on the stage, taking down the piano teacher, and he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him.
He's
So that's
beating him.
he
Like, he's
is, and
straight
he's a
up
very
going
good fighter.
WWE. He's like over there throwing elbows. He's like, I'm going to take this piano teacher down. Come on. What did you do to
While
Barack?
his daughter is trying to play her piece on the piano, I
That
used to
she
do piano
prepared a
recitals.
year for.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I was just trying to imagine that because I used to play in piano recitals. So I'm like, what on earth would I have done if my dad had landed on the stage and started beating up the piano
Change the
teacher or
music
whatever?
and play something that goes with the fight. I mean, you can be like, play like Mike Tyson Punch Out music from the 1980s Nintendo game.
Oh, so that's the end of episode 1. So yeah. So what do you think about episode 2?
Oh my God. Episode 2. It like I thought because I mean I watched the first episode and I texted you and I was like, girl, I was sitting there halfway through it going, oh, he did it. Oh, he did it. Like everybody's a suspect. By
That's right.
episode 2, we find out that all right, how do I want to flow this one? Because I had so many emotions watching it at the end that I was like,
Yes.
oh my God. Okay,
So
first
let's
off,
introduce John, right? So his other brother, so Serhat. So let's build the family tree a little bit so people know who we're
yes.
talking about. So Serhat has an older brother, John, and
But he also
he,
has another brother as well. So there's
Jihan,
two brothers. Yeah.
Jihan, yeah, Jihan and John. So there's 3 boys. Serhat is the middle one, but he's the
Hmm.
successful one. His older brother, this comes out through Ozra in episode 2. Okay, so Jihan's wife, Ozra. So before they were married, John and Ozra were driving together and she hit someone. And rather than her taking the blame, John took the blame and went to prison. So he
Hmm.
has just gotten out of prison and is coming back into their lives. So that's an important thing towards the end of episode 2. So so the whole time, the 3 brothers it goes between their lives and things that are happening. So I just wanted to build that out a little bit.
You
And
know,
then
I
their
think you're
mother is
doing
there.
beautifully on that. And if you, because I keep remembering the emotional side of things where I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what
Yeah.
happened? Because then what happens is that one of Surat's daughters, it's her birthday, and so he throws a birthday
Yes.
party,
Ilkim. Hmm.
and Ikram,
Yeah.
yes,
Ilkim. Yeah.
Ilkram. Okay, sorry.
That's okay. It's a hard
um
name.
Yes. Has so it's her birthday party, and Zaynab figures out because okay, first off, so Zaynab is trying. Oh wait, we gotta go back more. Oh my god, I'm skipping ahead. First, Kadarj is she's off by herself, and she's kind of just staring off into the party like, I wish I could be a part of it, but I'm this stranger in this house, and John, is it John or John?
John. Yeah,
John.
like John for in English, but it's Can in Turkish. Yeah, John.
Okay. Yes. All right. So John sees and hears that her name is Kadarj. And he goes, wait a second. That's the name that Barack was like, oh my God, if I have this child, this is the name. And he's like, and so he goes and he kind of corners the little girl at one point because she's, staring off into the distance, feeling sorry for herself, sort of forlorn, looking at the party, like, very, what's her name? Sabrina.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yes, yes,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yes, very Audrey Hepburn. So, and John comes up and is talking to her, and she starts twisting her hair, and he goes, "Your mother used to twist her hair like that when she was upset," and he realized what he just did. He just revealed to the little girl that he knew her mother. Now, luckily enough, it's a child, so she didn't put two and two together.
Mhm.
And he goes, "Don't say anything. Don't tell anyone that you talked to me." And um, um, so she goes and runs off because he's a big scary man, and she doesn't know who he is, and he's over there saying, "You remind me of your mother, but don't say anything." So she's scared. She runs off.
He
Now
is a little intimidating. Yeah.
he is intimidating. And so now she runs off and kind of hides, and Zaynep goes to find her, and she's looking around for her and everything, and she goes up into one of Barack's rooms upstairs,
Mhm.
and she knocks over a whole bunch of books. And she's putting the books back up, and she opens it's either Pilates, I think it's a Pilates book, and in it is a cutout and a cell phone in the book. And she's sitting there, she's got the cell phone in her hand, and the reason why, number one thing that we forgot to talk about is the music teacher was not the father. We forgot
Oh,
to
that's
say
true.
that.
That's true. Yeah, we need to clear that up. The
We
music
need to
teacher wasn't
clear.
the father.
He was not the father because he does
No.
not like women. He just
Right.
loved the tattoo because it was so stinking cute that he had to get it. It was that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. That's true.
So we still don't know who the father is, and
We have no
that poor
idea.
guy's boyfriend's over there taking care of his wounds. But we've totally skipped that part, the cliffhanger, and we just left it hanging.
Hey, that's Turkish Disney's for you.
I know. I mean, it's all over the place, but it's just amazing. And so, um,
Okay,
the
4 minutes.
difference between the two tattoos is that Barack's had a series of four digits. It's 1012. And that turned out to be that cell phone's passcode.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, the
I forgot about
tattoo
that.
gave the cell phone passcode. And so Zaynab's over here going, oh my God, there's only one phone number. And so she calls the phone number, and she goes outside and she calls the phone number, and she hears someone's phone ring at the exact same time, and she tracks down that phone number, and she's trying to figure out whose phone number it is. And that person, somebody comes and picks up the phone and hands it off to someone else. You see it in the distance. You don't know who gets the phone, so you don't know any of this stuff. And so she's over here. So Zaynep doesn't know who the father is, and she's over there. You know what? We'll figure this out. It's got to be someone here. I'm just going to go around and take a bunch of DNA samples.
She does too.
And
She
I'm going to make
collects
sure
DNA from
that
everybody, all the men.
all the
She
men,
collects
all the men. She gets their glasses. She gets their gum. I mean, she's over there like, you didn't like that? Here, spit in this napkin pocket. She's everybody's DNA except for the two brothers.
Right. She doesn't collect John or Jihan's. And
No.
Jihan's helping her at this point. He has promised Serhat that he will find Kadar's father for him because Serhat is so overwrought.
Yes.
So they're
very
working
overwrought.
together. So Zaynep
But he's a
and Jihan.
POS himself.
Oh my word. He is
Oh
so
my God. Can I
abusive.
just talk about this MF? And we're gonna try and I'm not gonna cuss, but this is the kind of man that would make me cuss.
Absolutely.
He locked his wife in a closet.
I get claustrophobia every single time because, he is so mean and nobody knows except for her. Other people suspect, but he always acts like he's this loving husband. But every time she displeases him, he locks her in that little closet that he had special made just for her.
Behind the mirror.
That's right.
With little air holes. And he plays it off saying that his wife has mental health issues.
Well, who wouldn't after that kind of treatment?
Them.
That's right.
She's got PTSD forming. That's what that is.
That's right. And the only reason she doesn't just leave him is because he has a video recording of the accident that he holds over her head. So every time she wants to leave him, he threatens to expose her, that she's actually the one and that she'll go to prison. So that's the only reason that they're together. Yeah. Just an FYI.
That's even more disgusting.
FYI.
So, but what we find out in episode 2, that none of the party guests that Zaynep had gone and gotten all those DNA samples were for. I can only imagine. Like, she's sitting there shifting through all the papers of how many. None of them are Kadarsh's father. None. And so then she's like, puts 2 and 2 together, and she goes, "Oh my God, Kadarsh's father is one of Zerat's brothers." And she's like, "Oh my God, if he finds out, oh my God, he can't find out."
She already knows that. Yeah, of his temper. She's already seen his temper. Yeah.
She's already seen his temper. She knows that he has a gun in the house. She knows that he's dangerous, and so she's like, but I gotta tell him because, I can move out of this house once Kadarsh's father is found. Because he'll come and save the day, which is, I'm sorry, in what situation would that actually be working?
Right.
No.
Exactly.
No. He knew about the child beforehand and didn't show up for 6 years. Now you're going to tell him about the child again, and he's suddenly going to be like, you know what? Here you go.
Yeah.
So
exactly. But she's a very black and white young lady, and so she just thinks that because her dad is that kind of guy, he would show up, and her brother is that way too, Mustafa. So she assumes that a father would take care of his daughter if it's just presented to him. So, yeah.
But then, where were we at? So here's the thing is...
Let's go to the cliffhanger for episode 2.
I know. Before all that happens, Zaynep's family comes to visit her, and her sister shows her ass. I'm going to just go ahead and say that right there. Her sister shows her fool. She acts like a fool. She's over there trying to pretend like she's rich when she's not. And and Surat's mother walks in on her sitting there by the poolside taking pictures with a bikini top on. And she's like, "Oh, I knew it. I knew it." And so then she goes and makes one phone call and says, "There is a street vendor in my driveway selling goods."
Right. That's right.
and they come and seal up the truck. And they're like, you can't sell your goods here. And she walks by and she gives you that side eye that, yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, Zaynep is a better lady than I am, because I'm gonna tell you, she wouldn't have made it to that car. I'm gonna tell you that right
Exactly.
now. She would not have made it to that car. And enough to look back and give me a dirty look. I'd be like, no, you want to see up close and personal what color your car is? Because I'll shove your face right into the paint. Um, you mess with
Yeah.
my family? Oh, girl.
Yeah. I know. I know. Good thing Zaynep was taught to be polite.
Yeah, that's pride right there.
Yes. Yes.
But she did
Absolutely.
actually say something to Sarat in full
Yeah.
detail. She was like, "This is what your mother did. Your mother
Mhm.
did this. This is the
Yeah.
cost that the toll that it took on my family.
Right.
You know, your mother did this, and Sarat fixed it. And all he did was sort of gloss over to his mom, well, I fixed your mistake. And the mom is like, well, I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm gonna go talk to your daughter. And we find out through this that Barack was a POS mother herself, making her
Oh,
children diet, saying, "Are you sure?" And then pitting them against each other. She did
yes.
that.
I
You
hate
want
that.
people
She
to
was
call
so
you,
manipulative.
yes. You want
The
her to call
one,
you
yep.
Ilkram's chubby sister,
Right.
or you want to be nothing. You
Right.
know, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, she's
It
saying that kind of
she really is. Yeah, Sarah Hott, I'm surprised that he hadn't noticed up until then, but she looked like such a good mother on the outside that he didn't
and
realize what she was doing. She was controlling each one of those girls so that
and
one of them was
and
going to be
getting
she
them
wanted them to be big and
serious.
famous,
Yes.
So she wanted Hilal to be a concert pianist and she wanted Ilkim to be like a champion swimmer. So she
Yep.
pushed both of
Olympic
them.
swimmer.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
big about, you need to go and get that medal. You have
Yeah.
to go and get that
Yes.
medal.
I know.
Mm.
And neither one of the girls really had that kind of drive. It was all coming from their mother. So, yeah, so
Yeah.
that really comes out in this episode. So,
But
let's lead us up to the
then
cliffhanger.
the cliffhanger.
Yes.
Okay, so Kadarsh is sitting with one of the other daughters who's looking through a book of pictures, and it's her mother. And she goes and puts the picture book back on a bookshelf, and Kadarsh is like, "Well, I really want to look at pictures of my mom," and so she goes to pull it off of there, and she ends up falling and giving, scraping herself.
Mhm.
To which Sarat comes in and is like, "Child, don't run away. Let me, I understand that
Mhm.
Zaynep is out getting paints and pencils for you, but I can do this. I've raised two children."
Yeah.
And
He's
during
very good
that
with
time,
children actually. Mhm.
he is very good with children. During
Mhm.
that time, he's conversing with her, and she lets it known that the man told her that she twists her hair like her mother when she's upset, and it made her so happy to hear that she had something about her mother. But what that did was she told the secret that the man had told her not to say,
Yep.
and it
Yep.
told Sarat exactly who the father of Kadarsh was. It was his own brother, John. So what happens next? Oh my God, Sarat goes to the safe and he gets, first off, one of the most beautiful handguns I've ever
I
seen in my life.
know. It was gorgeous. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
wowzy. Yes.
Like, I'm over here like, hey,
But that
like,
kind of money, I guess you can get as beautiful of a gun as you want,
I mean, it had so much filigree on it.
I
It looked
know.
like the guns from Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet from the
Yeah, there you
90s.
go.
Like, it was
Yep.
very much like
It was
that.
gorgeous. Yeah, it really was
Yes. And
pretty.
so he learns, and he goes to his brother's boat, and he's
Yep.
over here, he's upset, he's distraught. Now during this time, he's made two phone calls. He's made a phone call to Gian, and she's made a phone call to Zeynep. And both of and when he called Jihan, he asked them the same questions that Zeynep called Jihan later and asked the exact same question. Does John know who Kadarsh's mother is? Both of them asked that same question
Mhm.
because Obviously, yes, he does. We all know that he does.
Mm-hmm.
And so it turns out though, before that, that John had already explained away the fact that Barack had been visiting him twice. What was it? Every
While
other
he was in
week
prison.
while
Yeah.
he was in prison.
And she wrote him letters too. Yeah. She
Yes.
corresponded with him. Yeah.
Very much so. And so he puts all of this together and he's distraught and he has the beautiful filigree gun and he goes to the yacht and he's like, tell me it's not true. Tell me that you're going to say, of course it's not true. You're my brother. And John just sits there and says nothing. Nothing. And Zaynab gets
Meanwhile,
into,
meanwhile,
Zaynab
Zaynab is going crazy. So
crazy
she's
because
trying
she
to
knows the
figure out
gun's missing.
where, yeah, she's trying to figure out where Sarah went. So that's why she calls John, because she doesn't know where John lives. She's new to this family. She doesn't know where anybody is. And Jihan's like, well, he doesn't own a house. He lives on a yacht in a marina, which is not unusual there along the Bosphorus. And so she grabs a taxi and goes tearing down there to try to stop Serhat from doing something that he will regret forever.
Which I gotta tell you, she let the cab drop her off way too
I know.
early. I was like, all you gotta do is be like, there's his car, drop me off next to his car. She's over there running around the marina, giving Sarat time to get even more emotional and raise up the gun to John.
Yes. Yes. And right before she gets to the yacht, you hear a gunshot. Boom.
And she comes running in and she's like, Sarat, what did you do? And you see John slumped over. You see the back of John slumped over next on the ground in the boat. And she's just at the door going, Sarat, what did you do? What did you do? And he's just standing there with a gun. And that's the end of the episode. And I want you to know I did not watch the beginning of the next. I literally, before I did this, let myself stay in cliffhanger mode.
That's the whole fun of Turkish Disney. It's just like, yeah. Sometimes, if I have time, sometimes I'm like, I've got to just see the first scene of the next one. But then sometimes I'm like, no. And the thing is, if you're watching them from week to week as they come out, you don't have a choice.
Right?
So you can't watch the next episode. So there has been times I'm just like, oh my lands, how could they do that to me? How could they leave it right there? So many times. It's just like,
they're so good.
Oh, yeah. So are you ready to do our next thing, the red flag alert?
Oh, red flag alert. Are we going to do episode 1 and then episode 2? You
No,
want to do
let's do them
yours and
together.
then I'll do mine?
Yeah, let's do them together. So the red flag alert, let me tell you what it is first. And then we're going to do this every week. We identify the person most likely to ruin everyone's life by episode 8. That is really hard in these particular 2 episodes because there are so many unknowns right now. I think that'll be easier to identify in the future, but I am thinking that if it's going to ruin everyone's life, I think that it could be either, these are my 2. It could be either Abru, because she has a tendency just to stir everything up every single time, or Jihan, because he is such a conniving little unpleasant individual. I don't even want to say what he is, that I think to save his own skin, he would mess over his own mother. He would mess over anybody to save his own skin. So those are my 2 top choices. So what do you think?
Let's see. For episode 1, for me, it's definitely the neighbor. The woman neighbor.
Yes.
Oh.
Tulai.
Yeah, they're gonna come back. They're the seedy people. They're Rooster and Bernadette Peters and Tim Curry and Annie for me. Like, they're creating it so it's a hard knock life for everyone.
Yeah, that's right. Tulai, she is just such a jerk and taking care of Kadarsh. And then she's a gossip on top of it. Oh, man.
Yes. And
She
she's conniving. Because at one point they were
very
like, "You
much.
pissed off the neighbors, go make them like you again." And she
Yeah.
couldn't because she's not that good. But number two, I have to agree with you on episode two is Gian.
Yeah.
I mean, hands down, makes everyone's life so much worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I have yet to see a positive role in him. I mean, I was torn between him and the mother because I'm
Yeah.
over here like Sarat has two bad brothers and a horrible mother. He ain't enough in his life because he's not horribly bad yet. You know, he shot someone, but you know, sometimes that
Well, he
happens.
kind of was justified, though. I mean, at least he thought he
I feel like he
was.
kind of was. But his family is the
Yeah,
least supportive.
I know.
And I
He's like
well,
survived. He's created everything on his own. Like all of his wealth, they weren't wealthy. And when she raised the three boys from the time he was, I think, like around 10, something like that, as a single mother, and they were not wealthy at all. And so okay, I will tell you something good about the two brothers, that they couldn't afford for all three of them to go to university. And so Jihan and John both gave up their opportunity to go to university so that Serhat could go, because
okay,
he
but
is
that's their choice.
yeah, he's he's the real
That to
smart
give you
one.
an excuse to lock your wife in a closet.
That's right. That's right. So
Or father a child with your other brother's wife.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm
that's
actually going to take my
for
answer and change it. It's the mom. The mom is
Sevim.
hands down because she raised them
Sevim.
all.
There you go.
She
Yeah,
raised them all, and they're all POSs at this time. I'm hoping, like Sarat, even at the first episode, you're like, man, seriously, get over yourself on that one.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
really, it's not all about you. You got daughters. It's
yeah.
about
That's
them.
true. He's trying to make it about them, but you got to think. See, he thought he had this picture perfect marriage,
Yeah.
and he did not have any clue. And then all of a sudden, he finds out, and before he can confront her, then she ends up in a coma. So the whole
But he
time she's
does
in this
divorce
coma.
her in a coma.
Well, I can't blame him.
And I was like, neither can I.
You go
And
for it, buddy-o.
he does that
Mhm.
speech where he's like, last time you were in a coma, I wanted you to wake up because I love you. This time I want you to wake up because I hate you, and then I want you to die.
And you always
Mm.
wonder what people can hear in a coma, So I'm thinking, boy, if I heard that when I was in a coma, I think I'd just go ahead and die.
Right?
forget,
I'd be like, I'm
forget
not getting
trying to
out of
come back.
this.
No, I'm not
Sleeping is
coming back.
much better than what I've got in store for me. I still
Absolutely.
actually think that there should be coma vacations. Like take a 2-day coma and rest.
Oh, well, there you go. They'd have,
Yeah.
for me to rest for 2 whole days, they'd have to be in a coma. That's the only way I can do
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. Just rest and let your body heal and because sleep's great for your body. So yeah, we're gonna do coma
That's great.
vacations.
Okay.
Had a
Okay.
great time and they prop your body in different places. Like you're
Oh,
almost going,
yeah. Yeah.
like here's a picture of my first day of my coma.
Do selfies.
Right? What's your souvenir? A toe tag.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get back to. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so what's next? Our next segment is, are we done with the red flag?
Yes, yeah.
So Sevim, so we agree that Sevim is the one that's going to just ruin everything by
Yes.
episode 8. Okay.
Oh, 100% the mom.
Okay. Okay. So Sevim, first this week we're going red flag for Sevim. So we'll see what happens, because next week we'll talk about episodes 3 and 4. So okay, boy howdy.
Yes.
So now our next segment is, wait, what did that mean? So this is where we talk about Turkish language and Turkish culture. So if things stood out to you, because I mean, I've lived in Turkey and I'm planning to move back there next year. So I know a little bit about it. So what stood out to you that you just really didn't
It
understand,
was
or that you noticed?
there. I actually am thinking specifically of something that Sarat had said, and
Yeah.
the subtitles had kind of translated the saying to his mother when he was like, "You messed with their livelihood." But there was a very specific Turkish saying that he had said. Like
Hmm.
something like I think he had talked about the honor, but he had used a specific word. We might have to look that up and figure out.
Yeah, we can look it up. We can talk about it next time, maybe. If you want to look it up and
Yeah.
let me know when it is, then I can tell you what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up. Yeah.
so
But
the
he
Turkish culture is more uh shame based, so keeping everyone's respect is like your number one thing to do in life. And so that's one reason that Serhat reacts so strongly when he
Mhm.
has been so disrespected by Barak and whoever the father of Kadar is, because she was obviously married to him. Here's an interesting thought, though. I've always wondered in this series why Barak, because she doesn't mind lying about so many other things. Why didn't she just lie and say that was Serhat's child? Because Kadar looks enough like Ilkim, and she kind of looks like Serhat, actually.
And
Her
guess
hair and
what a
stuff.
DNA test would have shown?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If it's one of the
Like if
brothers, which
you're
we don't
gonna
know
cheat,
yet. Yeah, exactly.
keep it in the
So it's,
family.
yeah, which we don't know. We don't know yet that John is actually the father, but that's what Serhat thinks at this point.
Right.
So we'll see in
Right.
the future if that's true or not. But yeah, I never, because he wouldn't have ever tested the DNA. They already had two girls, and to have a third one,
Mhm.
you know, a little bit after the other two, he wouldn't have been suspicious of that.
Well,
So,
because remember though, she had said that the pregnancy was too far along that she couldn't get rid of the child. Like the doctor had blocked her. So it took her how much time did it even take her to realize that she was pregnant and get to the point where
right,
she wouldn't have been able to?
right.
But yeah, no, 100%. And
But she
why
could have
wouldn't she
just
just be
told
like, I
Serhat it was his child. Just say, oh, guess
exactly
what? We thought we were going to have any more children while I'm pregnant. I mean, how many times has that happened to couples? All the time.
right?
So
She
I
created the
never,
whole situation.
yeah, I
And
really
then
think
she's
so
like, let
too.
me secretly have this child and
Yeah,
store
yeah.
this child away. How well did you think that was going to play out?
No, no.
No,
And yeah,
she's not smart about it.
no, she wasn't. So what I'm thinking is, and then it would have never affected Serhat's honor. So that's why, I mean, nobody wants their wife to cheat and have a child with someone else, but particularly a respected businessman like that, or any man, honestly, if they do have a lot of honor, then that's why he is just so raging angry about it. And I really
Yes.
think he's very justified. But that's
And
another
he
reason.
can't
So
even talk to her about it because she's,
no, because
she
she's in a
gets to
coma.
sleep. She
And that
gets to sleep
explains
through all of this.
And that explains a lot of Zainab's actions as well, and her father's later on, Arif, because the reason that they're so proud, again, it's a whole situation of honor, because you do not, put somebody down because they don't have money, but you also don't take money from anybody else. I think my family was kind of like that. And I'm trying to unlearn that because that isn't really the best way to be. It's okay to have self-respect, but sometimes people want to help you and you don't let them. So,
I've learned that one recently. It's okay to accept help. It's okay to
yeah,
ask for help when you
yeah,
need it as well.
absolutely. But it's very
Now,
hard to do.
I have another question for you. How
Okay.
about the will they, won't they that's starting up between Sarat and Zaynep?
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
I think we're on to our next segment, don't you? The wild theory corner.
Yay!
Predictions of what's going to happen in the future.
Okay,
So you just
I love
started
this
that out
one.
quickly. That was great. I love that one. So you wanted to go percentages? Shall we go percentages? How much do you think that something's going to happen? And
Okay,
then we'll
so I
check.
don't think it'll happen in the next couple of episodes. I think they'll stretch it out to a slow burn because both characters are very, very proud, but
That's
there
right.
is obvious connection and respect and attraction between Zaynep and Surat. And I bet that the sister's going to do something to ruin it because that's, she doesn't want her sister to be happy. Like Ibru's going to come in here and she's going to do something like he doesn't like you, he likes me. Some I can predict
Well,
it.
and remember that Abru also wants money, whereas she's not proud like Zaynep. She would take
Mhm.
money if she got it. And
Yep.
so she's looking at Zaynep going, oh my word, she's living there in a very nice house. She doesn't have to worry about money right now.
And
So
she
who
wanted
knows?
Zaynep to blackmail Surat.
Yeah. Yeah,
April
April is a
wanted.
bit of a little conniver, I have to say. But I don't know,
Oh,
there's something about her that I like. But yeah, so I'm thinking that um, you know, well, the first thing that we'll see next time is if John is actually the father or not.
I do. I
And
cannot wait. And if
yeah,
he's dead.
yeah, that's right. Well, he was still alive at the end of that scene, so unless he
Was he?
dies, the scene
Was
that
he?
kind
We're
of
on a
yeah.
cliffhanger.
Well,
Was
that's
he?
true. That's true. I thought he was moving, but maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, he was definitely laying there, so who knows? So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens next on that. So yeah, and also will Zainab and Kadar still be living in that house after all this happens, or will Serhat say, "Okay, that's enough. I've had enough of this," and get rid of him
Oh.
because it's a pretty rough situation for him to have them there.
Who put Barack in a coma?
We don't know. It
I want to know because I'm over here like it could literally be either brother. Well, no, no, no. I think it's
it could
the
be it could be
yeah.
anybody. We
It could
don't
be
know
the
that it's
music
a brother.
teacher.
It could be anybody because somebody came up and was talking to her, but we can't see them, and
Yes.
we don't know. We have really no idea. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens next time. Oh my lands! All right,
And
so
I'll take
next,
notes and see what things where I'm like, okay, what is
yeah,
this? All right,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna do
yeah.
that for next time.
One of the things I was going to explain real quick because I think this is more common than even it used to be 20 years ago when I first started going to Turkey, but to show respect to one another, if you have a friendship or a fairly close relationship with somebody, they call everybody brother and sister. So Abi is brother and Abla is sister. So even so at first you're like, oh, I didn't know they were brother and sister, but they're not. That's
No,
very
they
common.
literally like, yep, Sister Zaynep.
Yeah, yeah, all the time. So Kadar calls her Zainab Abla. Yeah. And she's
Mhm.
not her sister, but she's not her mother either. So that's why she doesn't call her Anne, which would be mother. So yeah, it's very interesting how they, because we don't really do that in English, but that's just
No,
something that's very common in Turkish. You'll even hear people
but we have
like
pet
I've heard it.
names and nicknames like,
That's
hey,
true.
honey, hey, babe, hey,
Yeah, that's
sweetie.
true. Yeah,
We
yeah.
do. I mean, good old Southern nicknames. Everybody is
Yeah,
sweetie or hun.
that's true. And you'll even hear that when they ask for directions on the street or something, they'll say, "Hey, Abby, can you give me directions to such and such?" So they use it just as if they don't, even if they don't know their name sometimes.
Hmm.
So it's very interesting. Yeah. I
I
think it's
like
kind of
it.
cool because, yeah, the family is very important. Relations are so important in the Turkish culture.
The older brother called Surat son quite a number
I
of times.
know. Because the oldest son is the de facto head of the family, especially when the father's gone. So that's
Okay.
why. Yeah, he calls him Oğlum. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep, that's true. Good catch.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so are we ready to wrap it up?
Yes. Yes, because I have
Okay.
to. We're gonna need a bathroom break.
Yes, absolutely. So for next week, just think about this. This is your Dizzy survival guide. Every week we're going to have a different one. All right. So here's what we advise if you're going to watch Turkish Dizzies. Never trust episode 1. If the grandmother, so in this case, Sevim, looks quiet, worry. And if someone says we need to talk, run.
Yes.
And that's what
Yes.
we're going to do. So we will see you next week back here and we'll talk about Güller ve Günahlar, episode 2 and 3. Thanks so much. This was fun.
It was. And if you want to follow along, you can watch the Turkish Dizzies on turkish123.com. It is that
Absolutely.
easy. So, yes.
Yay. All
Maybe you
right.
can
See
put
you
a
then.
link in there. You can
Okay.
put a link.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
them a
Yeah.
link.
Let's do it. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Awesome.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.